Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to day one of the Spellbinders April 2026 All Clubs Crate series. So today we're going to be using the stencil of the month, which is this Market Berries 5 stencil set. So I'm going to get these out because that's what I'm going to be using. And I've already got my panel all set up and my stamp wheel. So I like to use my stamp wheel to do stenciling with layered stencils, because that way I'm not really trying to line up with the etched marks on the stencil. I'm really just putting it down in the corner and not having to think twice about it. So I thought I would use some of my distress inks. So kind of have to figure out what colors I'm going to use. I'm thinking for my leaves, I'm going to go kind of bright and cheery on this. So I'm going to use maybe some Twisted Citron. And then for the little detail on the leaves, I might go in with some, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll use Lucky Clover for the detail. No, I'm going to use Lucky Clover for the leaves. And then I'll go in with some pine needles, I think. We'll see if that works. And then for my berries, I'm going to use some candied apple. Okay, candied apple for my berries. And then I think for my flowers, we'll use some squeezed lemonade. And then for the seeds and the centers of my berries, I'll use some of my black soot. Okay, well that took me long enough. All right, so now I forgot guys, I have these Spellbinders blending brushes. And since these are like more detailed stencils, I'm going to pull these out and use them. So I got 3 different sizes. So you'll see these. And I completely forgot I had them. I put them away in a drawer and, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So I'm going to use these. And what I did was I bought enough so I can have one for each color family. And these are going to be for my dye inks, not for my oxides. So we'll start with Lucky Clover. I'm going to have to really get this inked up to start with because it's the first time I'm using these brushes. So, and actually for this one, I could have gone in with a bigger ink blending brush. I think I might. Nah. In fact, let me put my ink right there so I don't have to worry about it moving. And I'll get this all ink blended up. Now, I decided that, yeah, I'm going to do a giveaway again. I'm not sure what I'm going to do as the prizes, but there will be at least 2 prizes, if not more. Kind of going through my stash and seeing what would be good prizes to give away. So I'll work on that before our last video. You'll know what it is I'm giving away and how we're going to do our giveaway. Now, I'm not going to do secret words this month, friends. I'm just going to, I think I'm going to do it the way I did last month, where it's just, I'll have a Google form for you to fill out, and then I'll have you let me know which prize you'd like to win, depending on what prizes I select. And I have a lot of items. So I did a D-stash video last year where I kind of, and actually it was a live stream where I showed everything in my D-stash boxes. And so I'm kind of pulling from those and using those goodies as prizes. Now, if I happen to get, you know, by mistake, like I did in February, I duplicate ordered items, then those are the goodies I'll give away. But I was real good this month and I did not duplicate any orders, which makes my husband happy. Because he is, you know, we're trying to limit our spending because he is going to retire hopefully this year, towards the end of the year. And I say hopefully because, you know, he says he wants to retire, but then on the rare occasion that he has a day off from work, and I mean rare occasion, he's just thinking about work. So I don't know. I don't know if he's actually going to retire. We'll see. We'll see what comes. Come September, when he turns the ripe old age of 62. Okay. Yeah, I could have gone with a bigger blending brush, but I'm kind of glad I stuck with this one because I want to get it, you know, seasoned, if you will, because it takes a minute for blending brushes to absorb the ink well enough that your ink blending just is a lot smoother. But this one seems to have absorbed pretty quickly. I'm liking it. Okay. So here's our leaves for all our berries. And I might, we'll see, speed this video up as I continue stenciling through the layers, just so you're not bored listening to me chatter away about silliness as I stencil or ink blend. Okay, that was Lucky Clover, and that was layer 1. Now layer 2, see, I don't have to worry about lining up because I'm just putting it in the corner. Layer 2, I'm going to use pine needles, and so that's still a green, so I'm going to stick with this blending brush. And we'll go in. I want to see if that's going to be a big enough contrast with the Lucky Clover that I used. So I'm going to kind of pull this up a little. Let me get something pointy to lift because it is stuck there. Oh yeah, that's good enough. I like it. See, you can see the contrast there. Okay, so we can continue with this ink blending, and then we'll go on to our berries and our flowers and the details. So well, let me speed this up and play a little bit of music as I finish doing my ink blending. Now friends, in case I forgot to mention, I will add a link to all the products I'm using that are still available in the description box. I'll also have a link to a playlist where I will have all my April 2026 All Clubs Crates video series, and that way you can just look through the playlist if you'd like once I get them all done. I think my squeezed lemonade ink pad needs to be re-inked. It's a little dry and the color is a little lighter than I wanted. So I'm coming in with mustard seed and just going over this layer of stenciling, and this one I could tell is much more juicy. I've decided for the centers of my flowers, I'm going to come in with some carved pumpkin instead of using my black soot. So the beauty of these small blending brushes is that I can get in here and ink blend with different colors without having to remove my stencil, clean it, and replace it onto my project. Now you'll see for the black I used a different brush. This is one that I have that I specifically use for any detail ink blending with just black. I'm using a craft card base, so I don't think I need to trim this anymore. I think it's good the way it is. I just need to figure out what to use as my sentiment. And for that, I think I'm going to bring in this sentiment here from their little bonus stamp set. And it says, "Very big thanks to you," because of all the berries. So let me get my mini Misty out here. And I'll get a scrap of cardstock to stamp on. All right. So let's get this on here. And I'm going to kind of leave myself some room to die cut around it. Kind of get this ready because it is a one new stamp. And I am going to stamp using my black soot. So we're going to keep our same inks here. Hopefully that's a juicy enough ink pad. That should work. So let me get this cut out. And I think I'm going to use this die, friends. This die is from the large die of the month club. Let me show you. It's for the broccoli, but look, it fits that sentiment in there perfectly. So let me get that all die cut out and I'll be right back. And I think I want like a shadow layer here. So what I think I'm going to do is I cut out an extra one of just the blank white paper, and I'm going to just go over it with around the edges with my black soot little mini ink cube. Okay, let's get this put together. There we go. And let us get this onto our card. Okay. Right about there. And my fingers are nice and inky as usual. So I'm trying to be very careful, very, very careful as I place my sentiment down. Alrighty friends, there is day one completed using the stencil of the month from the April 2026 All Clubs Crate by Spellbinders. Make sure to stick around for day two tomorrow and see what project I create. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribed to my YouTube channel or followed me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.